The National Broadcasting Company presents The Big Show. The first half hour presented by the makers of Reynolds Aluminum, the Reynolds Metals Company, and starring the glamorous, unpredictable Tallulah Bankhead. For the next hour and 30 minutes, you will be entertained by some of the biggest names in show business. Such bright stars as
Joan Davis,
Bill Foster,
Vera Lynn,
Claude Rains,
Jean Sablon,
Meredith Wilson.
And my name, darlings, is Tallulah Bankhead. Well, darlings, if I seem a little frail today, you can blame it on a diet my doctor put me on. It's a 2-week diet. That's what I am, 2 weeks to stand here. It's not that I'm gaining much weight, you see. It's just that if I don't watch my figure, nobody else will. I first realized I should go on a diet when I went to my dressmaker for a fitting of a dress I'd ordered about a month ago. It was then I noticed I'd gained a few pounds in the interim. Then I looked at myself in the mirror and I realized I'd gained a pound or two in the outer rim. But I didn't go on one of those ridiculous diets, you know, where you eat practically nothing for 2 weeks. Like a girl I know, she weighed, my dear, 150 pounds. Well, she went on one of those 18-day diets where you eat absolutely nothing. And at the end of the diet, she weighed 90 pounds, casket and all. Casket to you, in case you don't get it. My diet is... thank you, darling. My diet is not too difficult. The only things I have to cut out are bread and potatoes. And I've been following it religiously. Now, all I had for lunch today and for dinner last night was an ice cream sundae with whipped cream and hot fudge. Not a bite of bread with it. Or not even one French fried potato. So you'll understand, won't you, darlings, if I seem a little from hunger tonight? In this business, you've got to watch your diet because competition is pretty keen, just as I suppose it is in other businesses. Isn't that what the Reynolds people say, darling?
Oh, yes, Miss Bankhead. Competition is the push behind progress, in industry as in the theater. But the results are particularly spectacular in aluminum, where there was only one producer scarcely more than a decade ago. What happened when Reynolds brought in competition? The price came down, and production went up, up. So America could have first the air fleets of victory, and then Reynolds aluminum roofing, gutters, windows, aluminum to make automobiles safer, appliances more efficient, and pure aluminum foil in kitchen rolls, the original and genuine Reynolds wrap. Again, now, military needs limit civilian supply. But the competition that Reynolds started is still at work. Aluminum is the only basic metal that costs less today than before World War II. And production is rapidly expanding to expand ever further the age of aluminum. Reynolds Aluminum.
Well, darlings, in a few more days, we'll be having St. Valentine's Day. That's the day you remember the one you love. The one you love. Only one day for that. It would take me a week just to write down their names. But to my delight and surprise, our guest stars this week all remembered me. To look at this sordid little group of strolling players, you wouldn't think there was a romantic thought among them. But just listen to this Valentine greeting I got, for instance, from Claude Rains.
To Tallulah, I send you Valentine greetings. I will love you all my life. We'll be like the 3 Musketeers, you and I, and my wife.
Well, if it's going to be a 3-handed game, I'd rather play solitaire. Well, Joan Davis also sent Valentine greetings. Her card said,
Last Valentine's Day, Cupid shot me with his arrow. I thought there was something cooking, but he missed my heart entirely and got me where I wasn't looking.
Is that an arrow, darling? I thought it was your dress. Well, the next Valentine remembrance I got was from Meredith Wilson. He sent flowers, and attached was this sentimental little revolting card.
Musicians got this Valentine note from Maine to Amarillo. Don't let Tallulah sing again. Lovingly signed, Petrillo.
I'm here to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The next guest to pay his Valentine's Day compliments was Jean Sablon.
Tallulah chérie, you fire my heart. I flame, I boil, I yearn. You give my heart, or how you say, you give my heart heartburn.
Well, that'll teach you to kiss me while I'm smoking a cigarette. Well, our English songbird, Vera Lynn, also sent me a Valentine's salutation. It went like this.
Tallulah, if you won't sing on Valentine's Day, we can really all rejoice, because this is a union orchestra, and you have a Confederate voice.
Well, that's hands across the sea, but they're reaching for my throat. Well, now, let me see. Oh, yes. We have one guest left, Phil Foster. Well, you know Foster. He sent me a Valentine card that's suitable for anybody, for any time, for any occasion.
To the best boy, girl, or other kind in this nation, this is an all-purpose card to fight inflation. So happy Valentine, or anniversary, or recuperation. Be my sweetheart, or get married, or have an operation.
Well, a fine bunch of Valentine cards these characters sent me. Well, I can do a little Valentine rhyming myself. To all the guests on my show this week, a happy Valentine's Day. I've always loved you from afar, and let's just keep it that way. Well, now for a real Valentine. Trimmed in French lace, the orchestra and chorus present the American version of a famous French folk song, the French titled Auprès de ma blonde, known in America as I Want to Be Near You. Meredith, mon chéri, s'il vous plaît.
I want to be near you, you're the one, the one, the one. I want to be near you, you're the one for me. I wake up in the morning, I go to bed at night. I'm happy that I'm living, my heart is feeling light. And all because I'm in the place I always want to be. Oh, I want to be near you, you're the one, the one, the one. I want to be near you, you're the one for me. You're the one, you for me. I wish that I were handsome, I wish that I were tall. I have a lot of wishes, the sum I can't recall. But what I want the most of all is not a mystery. Oh, I want to be near you, you're the one for me. I want to be near you, you're the one for me. All I want to do is I want to be with you, you're the one. I'll never be a princess with lots of cavaliers. I'll never have a palace with crystal chandeliers. But I don't want a fortune or a fancy pedigree. Oh, I want to be near you, you're the one for me. I want to be near you, you're the one for me. I want to be nearer to you, you're the one, the one, the one. I want to be moon to give you. I've also got the sun. And if you want a star, I will get you anyone. And in return, what I desire is simple as can be. Oh, I want to be nearer to you, 'cause you're the one, the one, the one. I want to be nearer to you, 'cause you're the one for me. I want to be near you, you're the one, the one, the one. I want to be near you, you're the one for me.
Always divine. Well, there's no doubting it any further. I have to bring on now a young lady whose comedy on radio makes time slip by so quickly that it seems to stand still, and whose face will soon be seen on television. So here she is, the girl with the face that'll stop a clock, Joan Davis.
When you hear the sound of the fist on Tallulah's nose, it'll be exactly 7 o'clock. Gruesome watch time.
Oh, come on now, Joan. You know I was only joking. How are you doing in New York this trip? Your luck any better?
Well, Tallulah, if you're referring to men, I want you to know that I am through with men.
Oh, darling, how can you be through with anything before you begin? You can't come out of a forest unless you've been in it. You can't get off a boat unless you've been on it. You can't leave a party unless you've been at it. You can't come from dinner unless you've been to it.
Well, that's the trouble. I haven't been in, on, at, to, or anywhere near it.
Oh, so what have you been doing, Joan?
Well, I've gone in for culture. You know, art, music, literature, cold showers.
Oh, that's wonderful, Joan. You may not get much culture, but you're going to be the cleanest single girl on your block. Now, Joan, that's really funny. You going in for culture. What's the matter? Having trouble finding a man?
Having trouble? How ridiculous. Up until a month ago, I was going with this young, tall, handsome, wealthy fellow, but I couldn't stand him.
Why not?
Wait a minute, I got that wrong. He couldn't stand me.
Well, Joan, I think I can give you some advice in that department. You see, you're not subtle enough, darling. Get yourself some enticing perfume. You know men. They like to sniff around a little. You're going at this whole thing wrong. You've got to interest men in you as a woman.
Well, I've tried to interest men.
And you must be a good listener.
I've tried listening to men.
And you must give up trying to find the perfect man. You all have to compromise.
I've tried compromising men.
Nothing works, huh, Joan?
Nothing works. I'm ready to give up.
Well, maybe that'll do it. You know, Joan, when you gaze into the eyes of a man, you're gazing into the windows of his soul. Well, now, that doesn't go for me, of course. Joan, be quiet. A commercial coming up. That doesn't go for me, of course, because when I gaze into the eyes of my darling sponsor, I see aluminum. Reynolds aluminum, of course.
Well, yes, Miss Bankhead. That's because windows are also the eyes of a home. And everybody knows aluminum makes the best windows. They never rust, never need painting, work smoothly, and stay new looking. Windows of Reynolds aluminum come in many types. Casements, the kind that open out, open on extension hinges so you can clean any part from the inside. Awning windows with horizontal panels that open out at an angle so you get controlled ventilation and rain protection, too. And then the traditional double-hung window, only so much better in Reynolds aluminum. You can combine any of these with a beautiful picture window for the best view from your house. But, of course, you'll want an architect's advice on that. You'll find him well acquainted with the Reynolds Metals Company, one of America's great producers of aluminum.
Time now, darlings, to enjoy the artistry of a distinguished star, Mr. Claude Rains. We are privileged to join Mr. Rains and company in bringing you a dramatization of James Thurber's little classic, which originally appeared in the New Yorker magazine, The Catbird Seat. The scene, that well-known family restaurant, Crafts, wherein we are enabled through certain technical inventions and some dramatic license to listen to a man talking to himself. He is Mr. Claude Rains, in the role of the James Thurber hero, Irwin Martin. Both of him. The two Mr. Martins are mentally debating a very serious office crisis which has come up in Mr. Martin's career. Specifically, a female crisis named Mrs. Elgene Barrows.
Come now. Your name, please. Martin. Irwin Martin. You see, Easy now. Hold it. Here comes that nosy waitress again.
Do you want something, Mr. Martin?
Something?
You were rapping with your spoon.
Oh, sorry, I was dreaming, I guess.
Will you have another of the raisin buns?
Buns? Oh, yes, another one. Thank you very much, yes.
It's quiet for crafts this evening, isn't it?
Yes, very quiet for crafts. Thank you. Easy with that gavel. I cannot eat another of those raisin things. Now, where were we? Your name is Irwin Martin. You're employed? For 20 years, I have been in charge of the filing department down at Old F&S. The F is for Mr. Fitweiler. The S is for Mr. Sam Slosher. He has passed on, but I shall never forget what he said of me. Mr. Martin is our most efficient worker. He neither smokes nor drinks, nor has he any bad habits whatsoever. The results speak for themselves. Perfect filing system. And you prided yourself on the job well done, meticulously and without fault all these years? Yes, sir. Then something happened. She happened. She? That woman old Fitweiler met at a party someplace, Mrs. Barrows, Mrs. Elgene Barrows. Mrs. Elgene Barrows, huh? What'd she do? Do? Oh, she's got the Indian sign on old Fitweiler. He made her his special advisor. And? Well, since she's come into old F&S, everything has gone to the dogs. It cannot go on. It won't go on. Can you remember when or rather when she first happened to you? Yes, I was in my, in the filing room at old F&S. I was going over some papers on my desk when she ran in like a fire horse.
Well, you must be old Martin, the Mother Hubbard of the File Brigade. Hiya, Marty boy.
Who are you, madam?
Who am I? Oh, that's a good question, Marty. I'm Mr. Fitweiler's new brain. I'm the gal who's going to get the cobwebs out of this dump. Now, come on, Marty, get with it. Are you tearing up the pea patch? Are you lifting the ox cart out of the ditch? Take it easy, kid. Let's see. I wonder if we need all these old filing cabinets.
Each of these files plays an indispensable part in the system of F&S. Madam, these files are F&S.
Well, don't tear up the pea patch, boy, but you sure got a lot of scrap iron in here. See ya, boy. Don't holler down the rain barrel.
And that was just the beginning. Yes, just the beginning. For 2 years, she's been yelling things like, don't tear up the pea patch, don't holler down the rain barrel, are you sitting in the catbird seat? Catbird seat? Yes, it's another of those expressions pioneered by a Mr. Red Barber. You see, this Barrows woman must be a Dodger fan and has picked up things like pea patches from him. I see. And you finally tired of hollowing down the rain barrel or wearied of watching this Elgene Barrows tear up the pea patch? Exactly, sir. This is the end. It's got to be the end of her, or it will be the end of me. You got a plan? Well, I certainly have, sir. 2 years I've worked on my plan. And that plan? Well, it goes into effect tonight, sir. I'm going to rub out Elgene Barrows, erase her as a clerical mistake of Mr. Fitweiler's. I'm going right down there now, down to her flat on 12th Street, and I am going to rub her out.
Who is it? Who's out there tearing up my pea patch?
It's me.
Oh, no, not you. Well, now I've seen everything. So you've come down to scrape around the bottom of the pickle barrel, hey? Come right in, Buster. Hey, quit shoving. What's after you? You're jumpy as a goat. Give me your coat.
No, please. I'll just leave it right here near the door.
How about your hat and gloves, too? You're in a lady's house, you know.
Well, I was just passing by. Is there anyone else in the house?
Nope. We're all alone, Marty boy.
I see.
Say, you're white as a sheet, you funny little man. Whatever's come over you? How about I fix you a little toddy? Scotch and soda be all right?
Yes, just fine.
Just fine. Well, say, I thought you didn't drink.
Oh, yes, I indulge. I mean, I take a little something once in a while.
Well, what do you know? Here, curl a lip over this.
Thank you. Have you got a match?
Smoke, too.
Oh, yes.
Well,
yes.
what do you know? Hold everything. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Andirons. A poker. That might do it. No. Hey, what's this? A paper knife. Good. No, that won't do it. It's too dull.
Well, here we are, you funny little man. Now come over and sit beside me. Oh, boy. This is one for the books. You with a drink and a cigarette.
Oh, no, that's nonsense. I do it all the time. Well, here's mud in your eye.
Mud.
Ah.
Boy, you sure got the look.
The look? Oh, yes. Well, you see, I just thought of something quite wonderful.
It must be wonderful. You look like you're just sitting in the catbird seat.
Better than murder. Well, here's nuts to that old windbag, Fitweiler.
Now, really, Mr. Martin, you're insulting our employer.
Yep. I'm going to mess up his pea patch, but good. I am preparing a bomb which will blow that old goat higher than a kite.
Well, what, do you take narcotics or something, Mr. Martin?
Oh, no, just heroin. I'll be coked to the gills when I bump that old buzzard off.
That'll be enough, Mr. Martin. You can get out of here.
Okay, sister, but not a word about this, understand?
Well, really?
Nope, mum's the word, kid. And remember, I'm sitting in the catbird seat. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Kindly file this Dobbins paper, Miss Perkins.
Yes, sir, Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, what did you do to Mrs. Barrows?
I beg your pardon? Do? To Mrs. Barrows?
Well, we went by Mr. Fitzweiler's office, and the door was closed, but everybody could hear her yelling your name.
No, Miss Perkins. We do not eavesdrop here at F&S. You file that letter, please.
Martin, come in here, please.
Yes, sir, Mr. Fitzweiler.
Good luck, Mr. Martin.
Martin, you've been with us 20 years.
22, Mr. Fitzweiler.
In that time, your work and your manner have been exemplary.
I trust so, sir.
I've understood, Martin, that you've never taken a drink or smoked.
That is correct, sir.
Ah, yes. You may describe what you did after leaving the office yesterday, Martin.
Certainly, sir. I walked home. Then I went to Kraft's for dinner. Afterward, I walked home again. I went to bed early, sir, and read a magazine for a while. I was asleep before 11.
Ah, yes. Martin, Mrs. Barrows has worked hard, very hard. It grieves me to report that she suffered a severe nervous breakdown. It has taken the form of a persecution complex accompanied by distressing hallucinations.
I am very sorry, sir.
Mrs. Barrows is under the delusion that you visited her last evening and behaved yourself in an unseemly manner.
Oh, no, sir, please.
It is the nature of these psychological diseases to fix upon the least likely and most innocent party at the source of persecution. I've just had my psychiatrist, Dr. Fitch, on the phone. He wouldn't, of course, commit himself, but he made enough generalizations to substantiate my suspicions. I suggested to Mrs. Barrows, when she'd completed her story to me this morning, that she visit Dr. Fitch. She flew, I regret to say, into a rage. So, Martin, I'm afraid Mrs. Barrow's usefulness here is at an end.
I am dreadfully sorry, sir.
Well, is the little rat denying it? Now, he can't get away with that.
Now, old Jean, now.
The poor woman is overwrought, sir.
Overwrought? Well, you little worm. You drank and smoked in my apartment last night, and you called Mr. Fitzweiler an old windbag and said you were going to blow him up when you got coked to the gills on your heroin. Oh, if you weren't such a drab, ordinary little man, I'd think you'd planned it all, sticking your tongue out and saying you were sitting in a catbird seat because you thought nobody would believe me when I told it. It's really too perfect. Can't you see how he's tricked us, you old fool? Can't you see his little game? Can't you?
Doctrine, you and Fishbein will take Mrs. Barrows home. Mrs. Powell will go with you.
Get your paws off me, you big lout. I'll fix you, Martin. Wait till I get my hands on you, you little weasel. You little rat, you.
Well, Martin, I can't say how much I regret all this.
Not at all, sir.
I shall ask you to dismiss it from your mind, Martin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Fitzweiler. I will dismiss it.
Oh, yes, Martin.
Yes, sir?
Those odd expressions of Mrs. Barrows. Where do you suppose a catbird sits?
I wouldn't know, sir. Mrs. Barrows being so extravagant in her speech. But I should suppose, sir, that a catbird's seat is a place a catbird sits after tearing up someone's pea patch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Claude Rains. A superb performance, a great lesson in acting. And thanks to your fine supporting cast, Miss Jan Miner, Leora Thatcher, and Ed Jerome. But before I get back to you, Claude, our darling sponsor, the Reynolds Metals Company, wants to teach us the ABCs of aluminum.
Yes, exactly that, Miss Bankhead. The Reynolds Metals Company will be glad to send to anybody who writes for it a very interesting booklet entitled The ABCs of Aluminum. Useful information for students and teachers. Fascinating reading for anybody. It's not really about the Reynolds Company at all. It's the story of aluminum itself. How it was discovered, what it is, how it is made, what it does. You're cordially invited to send for your free copy of the ABCs of Aluminum. Just write ABC with your name and address on the face of a postcard and mail it to Reynolds Metals Company, Louisville 1, Kentucky. The address again is Reynolds Metals Company, Louisville 1, Kentucky. That's the home sales office of the company you know as pioneers of progress through aluminum.
Well, Claude, darling, it was awfully nice of you to come back to our show for a second appearance.
Oh, good heavens, don't tell me I've been on the show before. I thought there was something frightfully familiar about this mishmash.
Claude, darling, you're losing your marbles. The trouble with you is you've been buried away too long on that farm of yours out there in Pennsylvania.
Not at all, Tallulah. As a matter of fact, we don't spend all our time on the farm. Mrs. Raines and I stay around for the spring planting. We plant the seeds and see to it that the crops get started, and then we leave the farm, and we don't come back till the seeds are sprouted in the summer.
Oh, I see. All those seeds just sit around the fields out there waiting for the rains to come.
Now it comes back to me. I must have been on this show before.
Claude, darling. But what I can't understand is how a fine, sensitive artist like you can occupy himself with farm work, planting seeds and all that.
Oh, I find it a most absorbing occupation, getting out there and plowing the furrows, planting the seeds, watching nature at its finest work, and finally being repaid by seeing the fruits of your labor sprouting before your very eyes. It's almost as if you yourself had created something.
I just don't dig it.
Well, if you don't dig it, you don't get it. But it's a wonderful feeling going out on your farm every day, watching the radishes grow higher, onions getting higher, the corn in the fields getting higher and higher. Can you even visualize this feeling?
No, I get that feeling every day I walk into the vegetable store. The radishes are higher. The onions are high, and the corn is higher.
Yes, I think this is the show I was on before.
Now, Claude, darling, while you're getting your bearings, let me take a fast moment here to ring my chimes, huh? We'll plow on when we get to Act Two. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is The Big Show, Act Two. This portion brought to you by Elgin American, creator of the world's most famous compacts and other smart fashion accessories. And here again is Tallulah Bankhead talking to Claude Rains.
Claude, I suppose you find this big theater and the glamour and excitement of this big show quite a contrast to the more sedate life on your farm, don't you, darling?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Tallulah. And if I did, I would say it grammatically. But there really isn't any contrast. There really isn't any contrast between your show, Tallulah, and my farm. I come here and I'm handed a script to plow through, which is full of corn. I manage to lay several eggs, while you hog the conversation by taking the cream of the jokes. And after buttering up your guest stars, you get their goats by cowing them into submission and planting the seeds of dissension, much to the delight of your audience, who love to listen to a lot of bull. For all of which, I'm paid a little lettuce just to meet and talk to a couple of tomatoes, while standing here staring into your calf-like eyes and getting very little of the milk of human kindness.
Shake hands with the farmer's daughter.
Yes, I'm quite certain this is the show I was on before.
Tallulah, may I speak to Mr. Rains?
Joan, I thought you were through with men. I thought you were going in for culture.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk to him about. Mr. Rains, how about you and me going out after the show tonight and culching?
I would rather take cyanide.
Okay, bring Cy along. We'll take Tallulah and make it a foursome, huh?
I wouldn't dream of going out on a date like that without an antidote.
Okay, bring...
I know. Bring Auntie along for a chaperone. Remember now, Claude. Remember now, this is the show.
Well, what do you say, Mr. Rains? You and me?
You and I.
That's a date.
Well, serves you right, Claude. Trapped by your own grammar.
Young woman, what could you and I possibly talk about? Could we discuss nuclear physics, for instance?
Well, sure, if that's your game.
What do you know about nuclear physics?
Well, I know it's good for people over 35.
Joan, I'm afraid you're Mr. Rains, but I've very little to talk about.
She must have taken it.
Stop it, Joan. His interests are in the theater. Theater to you, in acting.
Acting? Oh, you mean that stuff like he just did? Well, I can do better than that anytime. Would you like to get a load of my acting?
Does it come in loads, darling?
Yeah, I'm just loaded with talent.
A loaded actress. This I would like to see.
Yeah, but I'm going to need a leading man to help me out.
You, come on, kid. I'm your man.
Oh, now, Phil, please. Whatever else you may call yourself, I know you're not an actor.
Why? I'm wearing a sign that says this fella's not an actor?
No, but to be a great actor takes years of experience. I mean, to become a fine performer, you have to suffer.
I've been sitting up here on the stage a half an hour without opening my mouth. That ain't suffering. What's the big deal about actors? Take Gregory Peck.
That's the nicest offer I've had today.
Oh, wait a minute. I mean, take Gregory Peck, Tyrone Power, Clark Gable, Robert Taylor, mix them all together, and the mess you get, that's me.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking. No, you won't do, Phil.
What's with you, kid? An actress, I know you ain't. And as for good looking, well, you know yourself.
I'm as good looking as anybody in Hollywood. You can go into Ciro's any night. That's the Madison Square Garden of Hollywood. And you can't name one person who's nicer looking than me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got 2 words for you. Linda Darnell. And how about Shelley Winters? And Denise Darcell? And Susan Hayward? And Jane Russell?
That's not fair. You're only mentioning women.
Well, Joe, let's hear about this nauseating, revolting little display of acting you two were going to put on for us. And while you're doing it, I'll go stand near an open window. If I'm lucky, I may fall out.
Oh, excuse me, Tallulah.
Yes, Ed Hurley.
Maybe this will make you change your mind. Here's a package for you.
A package for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, darling, of course. I'll be your Valentine.
And you can hear your Valentine say that next Thursday, and for years to come. Make her gift an Elgin American masterpiece. For Elgin American, style leaders in the world of fashion, offers such an exciting selection that whatever you choose is sure to please. Luxurious compacts in inspired designs, delicately engraved sterling silver, gracefully decorated jeweler's bronze, others radiant with brilliant stones. Or choose from exquisite Elgin American cigarette cases and lighters, or the distinctive Elgin American Light-O-Matic combination cigarette case and automatic lighter. Typical of Elgin American's advanced styling is the lipstick mirror, ultra-smart case for her favorite lipstick with automatic open and closed mirror. And there's the stunning new carry-all for all her vanity needs, powder, lipstick, lip tissues, mirror, cigarettes, and pills, all in one. So this Valentine's Day, say, I love you, not for just a day, but for years to come, with an Elgin American masterpiece, the name that inspires confidence and pride among women whom fashion follows.
Well, now we're going to hear Joan Davis and Phil Foster show off their acting talents. Meredith, set the scene with some catbird music, if you please. This is the story of a typical American couple sitting at home listening to their little radio. They have just heard Claude Rains do the catbird seat. It's the typical peaceful Sunday evening at home. He's lying there in his slacks, bare feet and undershirt, and she's sitting next to him in her slacks, bare feet and undershirt. He's a Dartmouth alumnus with a degree in engineering, and after having been graduated with highest honors, he has reached his goal, superintendent of a Brooklyn apartment house. As our curtain rises, she looks tenderly at him and is about to speak.
Will you shut up? I want to hear the rest of the program.
What's to hear? From now on, Tallulah Bankhead comes back and it's blah, 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 darling for the rest of the show. Who needs her?
I got news for you. I need her. That was a very entertaining and educational thing that Claude Rains just recited.
Who needs it?
I got news for you. You can learn a lesson from that. If a person keeps repeating the same expressions over and over, I got news for you. It can drive you nuts.
Ah, who needs it?
I got news for you. You need it. Every time you open your mouth, it's the same expression. Who needs it? I got news for you. You need it. And if you keep saying it, I'm going to walk out of here one day.
Who needs you? I got news for you. You keep saying I got news for you. I got news for you.
Me? I say that? I got news for you. I never say it.
You just said it.
Oh, picking. All of a sudden you can't stand the way I talk.
What do you mean all of a sudden? For 12 years you've been saying, I got news for you. All right, I'm ready. What's the news?
Oh, it's going to be that kind of a fight. Okay, I wasn't going to get mixed up in personalities. But let me ask you a question. You were better off single? You were better off when you were delivering salsa.
Oh, you were doing fine before I married you and started nagging you to success. What were you doing? Selling Landon buttons.
Leave my mother out of this.
Who mentioned your mother?
I got news for you. You were just going to.
Who needs her?
Yeah? How about your mother? When she needed money to pull her teeth, who sent her to a dentist? I did. Even if I felt like going over and knocking them out myself.
Leave my mother's teeth out of this.
Oh, when I mention your mother's teeth, they hurt.
Every time you open your mouth, you put my mother's teeth in. Stop making a big bit out of it.
Yeah, that's what your mother ought to have in her mouth, a bit.
Oh, you forget about the time your brother needed an operation to keep him out of the army. Who punctured his eardrum?
Who bought the nail? Now, I got news for you. I'm going to listen to the rest of the Tallulah Bankhead show.
Who needs it?
Ah, there you go again. You keep using that same expression. Who needs it?
Well, how about you with I got news for you?
Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. What are we arguing about? If you stop saying who needs it, I'll stop saying I got news for you. Good deal?
Okey doke.
Now, if you let me listen to the rest of the big show, I'll take you to the movies. Good deal?
Okey doke.
And after the movies, we'll go to Max's Sweet Shop for a pastrami sandwich. Good deal?
Okey doke.
Will you stop saying okey doke?
Good deal.
From Foster and Davis, heaven save us. Thank you, sweeties. And now it's time for some music. And when it comes to music, we have plenty of it in the glorious singing voice of our visiting English nightingale, Miss Vera Lynn. So, without further ado, here is the lovely Vera to sing Sid Fine's great arrangement of I Feel a Song Coming On. Meredith, darling, if you please.
I remember my days of solitude when it was folly to dream, when my heartbeat was not requiring a great inspiring theme. But today my dark cloud is breaking. Music deep inside me is waking. I feel a song coming on, and I'm warning you, it's a victorious, happy and glorious new day. I feel a song coming on. It's a melody full of the laughter of children out after the rain. You'll hear a tuneful story ringing through you, love and glory, hallelujah. And now that my troubles are gone, let those heavenly drums go on drumming, 'cause I feel a song coming on. I feel a wonderful
I feel a song coming on.
I feel a song coming on.
It's a victorious, happy and glorious news day.
I feel the breaking of dawn.
I feel the breaking of dawn.
I feel a song coming on.
It's a melody full of the laughter of children out after the rain.
You'll hear a tuneful story ringing through you, love and glory, hallelujah. troubles are gone.
I feel the sun coming on.
Let those heavenly drums go on drumming. 'Cause I feel it song. I feel a song, a beautiful song. I feel a song coming
This Thursday, say Be My Valentine in a way as enduring as it is endearing. Give an Elgin American masterpiece, foremost in fashion among women of taste. Sure to be cherished are deep glowing Elgin American simulated pearls in a variety of exquisite necklaces. There's a rich, classic single strand, flattering for every occasion, that comes in a handsome jeweler's bronze treasure chest jewel box for her vanity. And Elgin American's high-fashion chokers and necklaces, many with matching bracelets and earrings, many with dazzling ornaments that may be removed for wear as a fashionable brooch. All Elgin American masterpieces are beautifully gift packaged and priced to fit every purse from $5 to $500. So stop in at your Elgin American dealers for a Valentine that will say, I love you always. An Elgin American masterpiece. This portion of the Big Show is brought to you by Elgin American, creator of the world's most famous compacts and other smart fashion accessories. And here again is Tallulah Bankhead about to chat with Vera Lynn.
Vera, darling, did you go over to that dress shop I sent you to last week? The shop where I buy my clothes?
Well, I went over there, Tallulah, but I didn't want to spend $750 for a dress.
Oh, they have cheaper dresses than that there, darling. You can pick up one off the rack for as little as $600.
$600 for a dress? Well, I can get 2 or 3 good steaks in New York for that money.
Oh, well, food is rather high here, darling.
Hi, back home in England, steak is only about 50 cents a pound. Of course, we don't have any.
Oh, well, if we didn't have any, you could get it here for 30 cents a pound.
Hey, Vera, listen, kid, I got a much better place to get dresses.
Where's that, Joan?
Well, it's down on 12th Street. You walk up one flight of stairs and take the elevator to the basement.
Why is that?
No overhead. You'll see a lot of doors down there, but go to the door marked Notary Public, wills probated, passport photos altered, we buy old silver, chiropodist, si habla español, and step down. Now, right next door to this is where you get these dresses. You just walk in and ask for Joe. There are 2 Joes there. You get the one with the long scar on his chest.
Well, how will I know which?
Well, don't worry. He shows it to everybody. Now, oh, and one thing more. Be sure to get there after the department stores close. And just tell them what dresses you saw, where you saw it, and they'll pick it up for you that night. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. They have one price, $50.
That, of course, includes the bail. And another thing, Vera, you can only do this in the winter. You can't wear them in the summer. They're too hot. And speaking of hot, you girls can go on talking about dresses while I sidle up to our next guest, Jean Sablon. And maybe he will invite me to his opening at the Persian Room at the Plaza Hotel this Thursday. Jean, how about a song at this point, n'est-ce pas?
I'll be glad to, Tallulah.
Well, what'll it be, darling? I hope it's one of those French imports.
Well, I've brought many French songs to the States. A few have been all right, but some have been flops. Because it is so difficult to translate from one language to another.
Oh, darling, I know so what you mean. I had the same trouble when I first came up from the South.
About 3 years ago, I brought not only a song from France, but the composer. And after working many days to translate the song, we found something marvelous. In French, it's still the same title, Clopin, Clopin. But in English, mind you, is comme si, comme ça.
Well, that seems reasonable. Meredith, how about some of that universal language? Music for Mr. Sablon, s'il vous plaît.
et je m'en vais, clopin, clopin, dans le soleil et dans le vent. De temps en temps, le cœur chancelle, il y a des souvenirs qui s'amoncellent, et je m'en vais, clopin, clopin, en promenant mon cœur d'enfant, comme s'en va une hirondelle, la vie s'enfuit à tire d'aile, et ça fait mal au cœur d'enfant qui s'en va seul, clopin, clopin. I always say, comme si, comme ça, and go my way, comme si, comme ça. Since you are gone, nothing excites me. Since you are gone, no one delights me, and I go on, comme si, comme ça, midnight till dawn, comme si, comme ça. But should we meet, that would excite me, and should you smile, that would delight me. I'd live again to love again. But until then, comme si, comme ça.
Jean Sablon, what a romantic voice. Come here, mon chéri. I was in Paris last summer, darling, and I understood you were there at the same time. Now, how did it happen you never ran into me?
Oh, just lucky, I guess.
Well, that's what I like about Frenchmen. They're so gallant.
No, I was only making a joke, Tallulah. How did you do in Paris? Did you speak the language?
Me, darling? I speak French like a native.
Yes, a native of Alabama?
Oh, you think I can't speak it? Say something to me in French.
Oh, Tallulah, vous êtes sensationnelle. Vous êtes un enchantement. En vous revoyant, j'ai l'impression de revoir Paris au printemps. Vous êtes vraiment la femme la plus extraordinaire du monde.
Le crayon est sur la table. Do you understand me, darling?
Ah, oui, oui, je dig it.
Oh, you do dig it? Well, a hep Frenchman.
Say, Tallulah, how about giving me a knockdown to this attractive French Froline?
Oh, of course, Joan. This is Jean Sablon, a good old friend of mine. I saw him first, so keep your greasy paws off him.
Well, how are you, Mr. Sablon?
Oh, very well. Comment allez-vous?
Do you know what comment allez-vous means, Joan?
Oh, sure. Everybody knows what that means. Come on. That's the old come on. Alley, everybody knows what an alley is. And woo, that can only mean one thing, so come on to alley-woo means come out in the alley and we'll pitch some woo. Okie doke, Gene.
Good deal.
What's with that good deal and okey doke? Is this a repeat broadcast for the West Coast?
Oh, Phil, I want you to meet Jean Sablon.
Hi.
Ah, cher monsieur, je suis ravi de vous connaître, de vous rencontrer pour vous dire toute mon admiration. Mais vous n'avez jamais eu l'intention d'aller à Paris?
Well, that's quite a question. You see, we was 13 and a half games ahead. Then they put in Ralph Branker.
Jean, he is talking about les Dodgers and les Giants. Obviously, Phil, you didn't understand what Jean was talking about. You don't understand French, do you?
Oh, sure.
Ah, vous parlez français?
Oui, oui.
Ah, bah ça arrange tout, alors c'est une bonne chose.
Oui, oui.
Alors dites-moi quelque chose.
Oui, oui. I'll bet you run out before I do.
Well, Phil, my advice to you is to forget French and stick your native tongue, Brooklyn. We'll let you start off Act 3 with a detailed account of what's been happening to you lately. But right now, I'd like to ring my chimes. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is The Big Show, Act 3. This portion brought to you by Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor, and Beeman's Pepsin, the gum that's great to chew and good for your digestion, too. By Chesterfield. Sound off for Chesterfield. For the first time, you'll get the cigarette that's much milder with the added protection of no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. And here again is Tallulah Bankhead.
Well, darlings, I always look forward to hearing the marvelous Phil Foster. Bless you, my sweetie. So, Phil, what's been happening to you since you were last on the show?
Well, the first thing I did was went back to the corner. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, they're still there. And all the fellas are hanging around the corner, and the collars are always up. No overcoats, because the leader of the gang, he can't afford one. And I can just hear one guy saying, "Man, it's cold. I'm freezing. I think maybe I'll go to Florida." And I want you to know, Tallulah, it took me 20 years to get to Miami Beach, because I made up my mind a long time ago I wasn't going any place unless they sent for me. If you want me, send for me. Like that, I got to France. So anyways, I went to Miami Beach for my health. I left it down there last year. And I tell you, too, I prefer Coney Island. And I got news for you. Miami Beach is nothing more than Coney Island with palm trees. And when I got down there, I wanted to live like everybody else this time. So the first thing I knew was to walk down Lincoln Road, and I got a friend there from Coney Island, a fellow by the name of Hayes Limited. So I walked in, he sells shorts, and I said, "Mickey, fix you up with a pair of trunks that everybody's wearing down at the pool these days." So he sold me a pair of leopard skin shorts. Leopard skin shorts. I wouldn't wear these things alone in the room. I'm about to walk out of the store. He said, "Hey, Phil, you're not going to go to the pool just with the shorts, are you?" I said, "Nah, I'm going to put on a tie." He said, "Don't be funny. I'm going to sell you a beach robe everybody's wearing." Boy, this thing you should have seen. It's got blue dots, red dots, little circles, big circles, squares. It's got lines that go through the thing, and the back it spells out idiot. I was about to walk out of the store again. He said, "Phil, you got to have evening wear. What are you going to wear in the evening?" I said, the beach robe." He said, "Stop clowning. Everybody down here wears a kukanga." I said, "No kidding. Is that what they're wearing? Wow. I thought they outlawed it." So anyway, now I was all dressed and ready to get a sunburn, because that's the big reason why we people go to Florida in the middle of the winter, to get a sunburn. So there I was on the beach, all oiled up, ready to get a sunburn. All of a sudden I hear a fellow go, "Psst." And I want to tell you, it's the first time in my life I ever heard of a sunburned tout. True. I looked up, I said, "What is it?" The guy said, "You looking for a good sunburn?" I said, "Why, you got one?" He says, "I'll get you a sunburn nobody's got. Follow me." So I followed the guy right out into the ocean. There we were with the water right up to our chest. He said, "Well, you getting the burn?" I said, "Yeah, on the inside." "What a burn I'm getting." He said, "You don't understand. Let me explain. When you're in the ocean with the water up to your chest, immediately the sun comes down and gives you a shot in the head. At the same time, the sun hits the water. And from the water, you get another ray. 2 for the price of 1. Isn't that wonderful? So from my chest up, I became nice and brown. From my chest down, I became purple. So I went back to the beach to get the sunburn. Now, I'm not lying. Anybody who's been to Miami Beach the past month knows I'm not lying. As I put my head back to get a sunburn, a cloud came in front of the sun and stayed there for 2 weeks. I became so friendly with this cloud. His name is Seymour. Well, I figured I couldn't get a sunburn because it's very cloudy. I figured I'd do the next best thing. Because in Florida, when it's very cloudy, you mingle. You go into the lobby and you mingle. And all you hear around the lobby is people saying, how do you like it? $30 a day for a room without sun. Without sun, they should take off $10. Another fellow says, you're complaining. I'm paying $40 a day for a room with air conditioning. And I got a cold. I don't know how to turn it off. Every time I turn the dial, I get music. In the middle of the whole thing, a bellhop came over and said, you have to sign for this here because we delivered your papers, and this is a great thing in Miami Beach. You don't pay cash, you sign. Did you ever try to sign a 10-cent tip on the bottom? Impossible. Now, let's be honest with each other, people. All of us, if you ever go to a restaurant, once in a while we'll slip a dime underneath the table, underneath the plate, and we run like a thief. But to sign 10 cents, they got it in black and white, you're pretty cheap. So you say to yourself, as long as I'm not paying cash, I'll write $1. At the end of the week, you wrote away $500. Well, I found out a way I can save a lot of money. People, if you're going to intend to go to Florida, listen to me. If you go to Florida right now, listen to what I've got to say, you'll save a lot of money. From now on, when you go to Miami Beach, you check into a hospital. Don't laugh, it's $6 a day. And you get free meals, day and night service, an oceanfront view. If you get a little tired, they wheel you right down to the beach. And should you ever get sick, you can always check into a hotel.
And now here's something else of interest to you. For breathless moments, for your breathless moments,
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Dentine tastes so good.
Dentine freshens your breath.
Dentine helps keep your teeth sparkling, clean, and white.
Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Before you go out, and always after eating, drinking, smoking, refresh your breath with Dentine. You'll love Dentine chewing gum, for Dentine has a wonderful, tingling, nippy flavor that lingers on and on. It's delicious. And remember, Dentine helps keep your teeth white, too. Keep Dentine handy. You'll enjoy refreshing your breath when you chew Dentine.
So, for breathless moments, for your breathless moments,
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Well, I think it's high time now that we heard once again from our lovely and talented singing star, Vera Lynn. So here's a basket overflowing with old-fashioned valentines, distributed with love by Vera herself, as she sings Rodgers and Hart's My Funny Valentine from Babes in Arms. Meredith, if you please.
Sweetheart, 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 I love you, I love you. Love sends a little gift of roses.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable. You are my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? But don't change your hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day. I care not for the stars that shine. I dare not hope to e'er be thine. I only know I love you. Love me, and the world is my funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Don't change your hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
Beautifully sung, Vera. Wonderful, darling. And now I simply must tell you all about a small dinner party I was invited to the other evening. There were 4 of us. My dinner partner, the host and hostess, and I. 4 of the most boring people you'll ever meet. I mean, 3 of the most boring people. I was the 4th. After dinner, we were having coffee and sandwiches in the library. It was that kind of a dinner. When out of sheer desperation and boredom, I thought of something that might help to pass the time. I said, bridge, anyone? Well, everybody agreed, and in no time at all, we were gathered around the bridge table. My partner, whom I just met that evening, glared at me as I shuffled the cards before dealing the first hand. And I said to him right away, I said, now look here, darling, please relax. Let's not start an argument before we even play the first hand. I'm what? Well, I'm shuffling the cards as fast as I can. Oh, yeah? Well, I'd like to see you shuffle a deck of cards with a ham sandwich in your hand. Now, just take it easy. I'm not going to let 57 little cards upset my life. What? 52? Oh, the new rule, I see. Oops, card overboard. Sorry, would you mind reaching that card? It's right over by... Oh, the dog has it. Oh, isn't he the cutest little thing? Give me the card, darling, 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 darling. Come on, darling. Isn't he the sweetest little dog you ever... Give me that card, you monster. Thank you. Well, now I'm ready to deal. Oh, before I deal, I have an announcement to make. Announcement, partner, you're not paying attention. I think it's only fair that everybody should know that that chewed-up card is the king of clubs. Oh, please, no applause. Now, here we go. Hands off the table, please. I'm dealing. 1, 2, 3, 4. How much are we playing for? Oh, a nickel a point. Oh, dear. Isn't that rather steep? Well, after all, I'm only on radio, you know, not television. What? Oh, a nickel a point and divide by 30. Oh, I see. Oh, and settle for half. And in Confederate money. Well, okay, that should make it interesting. It's a little steeper than I usually play for, but if everybody's agreed. Oh, just a moment. There's one card left over. What? No, it is not a misdeal. Everybody count your cards. Somebody has 12 cards and a slice of ham. Oh, it's you, partner. Well, here you are, darling. Now pass me back the ham. Well, don't roll it over. Hand it to me. Oops. Ham overboard. Oh, don't bother, darling. I'm right here. I'll just reach over and let go of that ham, you little monster. What'd you say, dear? What'd you say? He's pedigreed. Oh, a pedigreed monster. How sweet. Well, I have a little dog myself, you know, Dolores. She's adorable. She's the cutest thing. Doesn't play bridge at all. And as for ham, she doesn't touch it. Has an ulcer, you know. Well, last week, somebody gave her a piece of ham, and did I tell him? I really let him have it. I pulled no punches. I called a spade a spade. And before we got through, he apologized. What's that? You double a spade? I did not bid a spade. I couldn't possibly have bid a spade. Well, look at this hand. There isn't a spade in the hand. All I have is 13 hearts. Now, look, partner, that's all I have. Partner. Somebody help that poor man up. What? Oh, of course, darling. Go right ahead. I get headaches myself. I understand. Now, let's have a nice three-handed game of pinochle. Pinochle. What, dear? What do you say? An operation? At this time of night? Oh, well, of course, if you feel you really need it. Now, wait a minute. Are you leaving too? Well, why do you need an operation too? Oh, you're just going to the amphitheater to what? Well, okay, darlings. Good show. Well, what happened now? Here I am all alone without... Oh, I forgot about you. Okay, two-handed gin and rummy. You and I. Sit down, you little monster, and I'll deal. I don't trust you. Thank you, darling. And now here's Bing Crosby to sound off for Chesterfield.
From Florida to Oregon, Chesterfield salesmen are on the run, bringing dealers fresh supplies of the smoke that satisfies. Chesterfield. Milder. Chesterfield. That's right. Yes, Chesterfield is the smoke for you. They're milder, better tasting too. Chesterfield now sets the pace with no unpleasant aftertaste. So here's what we want you to do. Right now. Yes, here's what we want you to do. Right now. Sound off. For Chesterfield. Oh, sound off. For Chesterfield. Try a pack of Chesterfields. Do it. Today.
In cities and towns, coast to coast, smokers are changing to Chesterfield. Soon you'll hear about Chesterfield sales increasing in your hometown, increasing fast, because Chesterfields are much milder and give you the added protection of no unpleasant aftertaste. That's confirmed by a leading research organization. So, sound off for Chesterfields. Try a pack today.
Well, I think we could do with another song from our French singing star, Jean Sablon. What is it going to be this time, Jean?
Well, when a Frenchman comes to New York, believe me, he always goes right away to see Times Square and the lights of Broadway. But when an American arrives in Paris, you know where he goes? He goes to Montmartre, but sometimes to Saint-Germain-des-Prés. But I'm sure he always ends up in the evening at La Place Pigalle.
Okay, let's hear Place Pigalle. Mr. Sablon, Meredith, if you please.
C'est une ruelle, c'est une place, c'est même tout un quartier. On en parle, on y passe, on y vient du monde entier, perché au flanc de Paname. De loin, elle vous sourit, car elle reflète l'âme, la gaieté et l'esprit de Paris. Un petit jet d'eau, une station de métro entourée de bistrots, Pigalle. Grand magasin, atelier de rapin, restaurant pour rupins, Pigalle. Là, c'est le chanteur des faubourgs qui fredonne un succès. Du jour passé la monnaie, ici l'athlète en maillot qui soulève des poids de 100 kilos. Hôtel meublé discrètement éclairé où l'on ne fait que passer, Pigalle. Et vers minuit, un refrain qui s'enfuit d'une boîte de nuit, Pigalle. Girls et mannequins, gitanes aux yeux malins qui lisent dans les mains, Pigalle. Clochard camelot, tenancier de bistrot, trafiquant de coco, Pigalle. Petite femme qui vous sourit en vous disant tu viens, chérie. Et Prosper qui dans son coin discrètement surveille son gagne-pain. Un petit jet d'eau, une station de métro entourée de bistrots, Pigalle. Sa vie, sa gueule, les gens diront ce qu'ils veulent, mais au monde il n'y a qu'un seul, Pigalle.
What memories of Paris. Thank you so much, Jean Sablon. And now, darling.
Tallulah,
Yes, Claude?
I was intrigued a little while ago by that story you told of your experience of bridge. Personally, I don't play bridge, but I'm more efficient at poker.
Oh, I adore poker, darling.
Really? Well, I'm glad to hear you say that, because while you were talking about the bridge game, and since I know we have to be here some time yet, I took the liberty of setting up a table and some chairs over here. Poker, anyone?
Oh, I'd love to. Anyone else care to join us at poker?
I'll take a hand, Tallulah.
I'll take a hand.
I'll take a wing.
I'll take anything that's left over.
Good. Come on, everybody, be seated. Well, this is going to be quite jolly. Now, all we need is some cards, unless you care to play without them.
Well, wait a minute. I happen to have here a deck of cards.
Oh, good for you, Phil. Give them to me, Phil. I'll start the game.
Hey, just a minute. There's something I got to explain. These cards are slightly irregular. I got them at a reduced price.
Well, what's the matter with them? Isn't it a complete deck?
Oh, sure. There's 52 cards, but every card is a 7 of spades.
Every card at 7 of spades? That presents a rather intriguing problem.
Oh, I think it's fascinating. I'll be able to remember all the cards. Well, let's start the game.
Okay, here we go. I'll deal.
By the way, how much are we playing for?
How much? What do you mean, Claude?
I mean, what stakes are we playing for? I mean, what do you usually play for?
Well, the last time I played, I lost a pair of stockings, a scarf, and one shoe.
Oh, I see. Well, I always play for money.
For money? Well, I like that. I've caught more colds at poker games.
Okay, we'll play table stakes. Joan, you're first. Make a bet.
Now, just a minute. I want to look at this hand.
Oh, why don't you pick your cards all up at once, darling?
No, I like to sneak up on them. 7 of spades. 7 of spades. 7 of spades. 7 of... This is the most monotonous hand I ever heard.
Well, what do you do, Joan? How much to bet?
Well, I think this hand is worth $7.
I'll call $7 and I raise you 50,000 francs.
How much is that?
30 cents.
I call the 30 cents and I raise you a pound.
I'm dropping out until I get a better hand. Up to you, Tallulah.
Now, just a minute while I study this. By the way, is any card wild?
Just the 7 of spades.
Really, darling? Then I call all bets.
Okay, you raised it a pound, did you, Vera?
That's right.
I call you a pound and I raise it a ton.
I call.
I'm out.
I'm out too.
Well, not me. I'll call if it takes every last stitch. Every dollar I've got.
Okay, it's between the three of us. You want to draw any cards, Joan?
2 cards.
There you are.
Well, hello. Haven't I met you two somewhere before?
How about you, Tallulah?
I'll draw 5 cards.
There you are. And I'm going to play these. And I'm betting $100.
I'm calling the $100.
Me too, I call.
Say, Phil, what you got?
I got you beat. Read 'em and aggravate yourself. I got a F-L-U-S-H.
A floosh? What's a floosh?
A flush. A spade flush.
Yeah, well, what's your highest card?
7,
And your next card?
7,
And the next?
7, and 7, and 7. I win, huh?
Just a minute, partner. I win.
You win? What have you got?
I got a full house.
Full house? What kind of full house?
I got 3 sevens and a pair of sevens. Well, I guess you got to give me the money.
Just a minute. Take your hands off that money. I win.
Well, what have you got?
I've got 5 sevens and a radio show. And it's up to me to say who's on the show every week. Now who wins?
Oh, you do.
Oh, thank you, darling.
The next time you suffer from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia, take Anacin. You'll bless the day you heard of this incredibly fast way to relieve these pains. Now, the reason Anacin is so wonderfully fast-acting and effective is this. Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proven active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. Thousands of people have received envelopes containing Anacin tablets from their own dentist or physician, and in this way discovered the incredibly fast relief Anacin brings from pains of headache, neuritis, or neuralgia. So the next time a headache strikes, take Anacin for this wonderfully fast relief. Anacin, A-N-A-C-I-N. Anacin comes in handy boxes of 12 and 30, economical family-sized bottles of 50 and 100. Get Anacin at any drug counter.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we honor the birthday anniversary of a great, great man. Nothing points up the great humanitarian spirit that was Abraham Lincoln more than the now famous letter which he wrote to Mrs. Bixby of Boston. The letter is dated November the 21st, 1864, and it reads, Dear Madam, I have been shown in the files of the War Department the statement of the Adjutant General of Massachusetts that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Yours very sincerely and respectfully, Abraham Lincoln.
This truth is marching on.
Well, that's our show for this week, darlings. Be with us next Sunday when our guests will be Fred Allen, Hoagie Carmichael, Joan Davis, Portland Hoffa, Vera Lynn, Jane Pickens, and others, and of course our very own Meredith Wilson and the Big Show Orchestra and Chorus. Until then, May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May you find that long-awaited golden day today, Joan.
May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortunes 10 times 10. Vera?
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Meredith?
May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Phil?
Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrow. Never mind what might have been. Claude?
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again, Jean. May you long recall each rainbow, then you'll soon forget the rain. May the warm and tender memories be the ones that will remain.
Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows. Never mind what might have been.
May the good Lord bless and keep you until we meet again.
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again.
And Godspeed to our armed forces everywhere. A loving Valentine's Day, darlings. Good night.
This portion of the Big Show has been brought to you by Dentyne, the gum with breathtaking flavor, and Beeman's Pepsin, the gum that's great to chew and good for your digestion, too. By Chesterfield, sound off for Chesterfield. For the first time, you'll get the cigarette that's much milder with the added protection of no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. The first half hour of the Big Show is presented by the makers of Reynolds Aluminum, the Reynolds Metals Company, who also bring you the Kate Smith Evening Hour on the NBC television network. The Big Show is produced and directed by D. Engelbach and written by Goodman Ace, Selma Diamond, George Foster, Mort Green, and Frank Wilson. The chorus is directed by Ray Charles. Special musical arrangements by Sidney Fine. This is Ed Hurley saying good night. Enjoy mirth and music with Phil Harris and Alice Faye. Next on NBC.